Hello everyone, welcome to School of Alchemy. Today's book is Answer to Job by Carl Gustav Jung, and this has a foreword by Sonu Shamdasani, the editor of the Red Book, the Liber Novus. This is a paperback and a thin book. It only has 121 pages. The fonts are big. That's why I like it. It's big enough for me. It is very legible. So, what is this book about? So, considered one of Jung's most controversial works, Answer to Job also stands as Jung's most extensive commentary on a biblical text. Here he confronts the story of the man who challenged God. The man who experienced hell on earth and still did not reject his faith. Job's journey to parallel Jung's own experience as reported in the Red Book Liber Novus, of descending into the depths of his own unconscious, confronting and reconciling the rejected aspects of his soul. So let me tell you about this book. Okay, so even though it's a small book and only like 100 pages, the 21 are the indexes, and bibliography. But it took me 6 years to prepare for this. I just read this today, and I'm glad that in 6 years I was able to study Gnosticism, different wisdom tradition, Greek mythology, Hinduism, because a little bit of Judaism, because if not, I will not be able to fully understand what he's talking about. But if you're new to this, you will discover many things, like if you're really curious about it, whatever he mentioned in this book, you will be encouraged to do your own research. So to get inside the mind of Jung, this is a good entry or portal, and it will lead you to do some of your own research if you still don't know what he's talking about. Okay. Answer to Bollingen Series 20. Volume 2. This is by Bollingen Series, Princeton University Press, Princeton and Oxford. Copyright 1958 by Bollingen Foundation. And then the first Princeton Bollingen paperback edition is 1973. And the 5th anniversary edition is 2002. So these are the contents. Foreword, prefatory note, lectore benevolo, Answer to Job, bibliography, and index. So I'll put a mark on something that really interests me. This is the prefatory note. I love the prefatory note. I got excited after reading this. Okay, let me read it to you, okay? So, can you see it? It's kind of hard. I'm holding my cell phone on the other hand. Okay, so the suggestion that I should tell you how Answer to Job came to be written set me a difficult task, because the history of this book can hardly be told in a few words. That is true. I have been occupied with its central problem for years. Many different sources nourish the stream of its thoughts until one day, and after a long reflection, The time was ripe to put them into words. Okay, so let's see. The most immediate cause of my writing the book is perhaps to be found in certain problem discussed in my book, Aeon, especially the problem of Christ as a symbolic figure and of the antagonism, Christ Antichrist, represented in the traditional zodiacal symbolism of the two fishes. So in connection with the discussion of these problems and of the doctrine of redemption, I criticize the idea of Privatio Boni as not agreeing with the psychological findings. Psychological experience shows that whatever we call good is balanced by an equally substantial bad or evil. If evil is non-existent, then whatever there is must needs be good. Dogmatically, neither good nor evil can be derived from man, since the evil one existed before man. So, in the Bible, they say that man was born with original sin, but here Carl Jung is saying that dogmatically, neither good nor evil can be derived from man, since the evil one existed before man as one of the sons of God. So who is that? Let's see. The idea of Privatio Boni began to play a role in the church only after Mani. Mani is a Gnostic. It is his group is called the Manichaean. So if you have a background in Gnosticism, you automatically understand who Mani is. Before this heresy, Clement of Rome taught that God rules the world with a right and left hand, the right being Christ, the left Satan. Clement's view is clearly monotheistic, as it unites the opposites in one God. Later, Christianity, however, is dualistic inasmuch as it splits off one half of the opposites, personified in Satan, and he is eternal in his state of damnation. This crucial question of whence evil forms the point of departure for the Christian theory of redemption. It is therefore of prime importance. If Christianity claims to be monotheism, it becomes unavoidable to assume the opposites of being contained in God. But then we are confronted with major religious problem, the problem of Job. It is the aim of my book to point out its historical evolution since the time of Job down through the centuries to the most recent symbolic phenomena such as the Assumption Mariae, or the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. So that alone is already heavy, right? Heavy stuff. It's like Nietzsche. Okay, so I have another mark here. I'm gonna read it to you. I mean, I don't want to read everything, but for me, these are like an eye-opener. It says here, with statement of this type, we enter into a definitely psychological realm, namely that of mandala symbolism, to which also belong the ratios 1:3 and 3:4. The quadripartite Hades of Enoch corresponds to a catatonic quaternity, which presumably stands in the everlasting contrast to a pneumatic or heavenly one. The former corresponds in alchemy to the quaternio of elements, the latter to a fourfold or total aspect of the deity, as for instance Barbello, Colorbas, Mercurius Quadratus, and the four-faced gods in all indicate. So, in order to understand this, it is good also to do a side reading or research about Enoch, okay, and the quadripartite Hades. And then he also mentions the Barbello. She is like a god of the 8 layers of heaven, color bass. And the four-faced god, like in the Eastern wisdom tradition or Eastern religion, they have a four-faced gods. In Thailand, they have I forgot the name, but they call it the four-faced Buddha. In fact, Enoch in his vision see the four faces of God. 3 of them are engaged in praising, praying, and supplicating, but the fourth in fending off the Satans and forbidding them to come before the Lord of Spirits to accuse them who dwell on earth. So, this book is very interesting. And also in this book, you will notice that Carl Jung knows a lot of stuff. He knows Greek mythologies. He knows Eastern religion, like Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism. He also mentions like Greek mythologies here, Greek gods, and of course Catholicism and Christians. So he is very knowledgeable in many aspects. So I enjoyed reading this book because I had interest in all of the things that I mentioned, and he mentioned each of them here, very well read in different wisdom traditions. So that's my review. I encourage you to buy this book because this is so packed. It's very substantial. Small book packed with all goodness. He talks a lot about Christ here, and mostly Catholic faith. So you're gonna enjoy it too. Okay, so thanks for watching, and see you next week. Bye.